Good morning, Borada. Good morning. I'm absolutely gutted. I have recorded this once. I got it absolutely brilliantly perfect, but I hadn't pressed start recording. And so I talked to myself for 5 minutes and it was lovely. And I haven't got it to share with you. So I've got to try and repeat that. How do we do that? Well, let me tell you about my week. I have been snowed under with emails and admin, and that isn't what I came into ministry for. But bizarrely, I've also done a lot of getting out and about and meeting people as the restrictions are lifting. So I'm getting out to see a few more people and actually have proper conversations in person. It's fantastic. And part of the conversations that I've been having this week have been around the changes that are coming as a ministry area and that growth into a newer, bigger picture. And it also came to light that some people aren't getting the message that we're back in the building. And really bizarrely, the people that aren't always aware and aren't seeming to get the message that we have services back in our buildings are the people who haven't been worshipping online with us, and so the people that are most in need of knowing that they could come into church on a Sunday morning and have an in-person service. And I thought, oh my goodness, if we're not managing to communicate with the people that aren't online that their buildings are back open, we're getting something really seriously wrong with our communications there. It's easier to do it online, isn't it? But how do we make sure that we don't leave anybody behind in the changes? How we've left people behind by being online, I'm really aware of that. And we need to make sure that we pick them up again and that we make sure that our buildings being open is well known and well publicised. And I know we're doing work on that, but we still seem to be missing people. It's nobody's fault, it's what happens. But I'm alert to it, because if we can't even manage to make sure that our buildings are looking open, how on earth are we going to communicate this bigger picture that we're moving towards? And how do we keep people up to speed with some of the other exciting things that are happening? We started conversations this week about perhaps opening up some small groups, and they might begin online, but they will be coming in person as the year goes on, I would hope. There might be opportunities to meet in gardens or in small groups but in big spaces. All of that to be discussed next week or the week after probably. But we need to make sure that we're getting the message out there. It's a hard one, isn't it? And funny old thing, but when I looked in the Bible for guidance from God on how we make sure that we communicate our message well through all mediums, online, offline, in person, there's not a lot of guidance about that because, of course, the internet. I'm being a little bit facetious there. We do know that we need to communicate well. We are called as Christians to communicate the good news. And when we are doing things and we are growing our church activity and growing in faith in the way that we are working within the church, that's good news and we need to share it. We also know that the Bible is full of verses about loving our neighbours as we love ourselves. And if we consider a piece of information important and valuable to us, then I think we should assume that it's valuable and important to other people. And we therefore have a responsibility to share it. Communication should be easy, and it's not. There are always people and things that slip through the net. And I'm a former speech and language therapist. I don't know if you know that about me. That was my past life. But that means that communication is really key to me. It's something that's kind of in my psyche to try to do well. And I recognise that I'm not always managing that. So where am I going with all of that? I suppose I'm going in the direction of please will you make sure that you talk to people about what we're doing in church. Make sure that they're aware when the buildings are open. Make sure of the invitations that are out there, and make sure that all the messages are getting through. We would need to print more things off so that we've got hard copies to share. We need to forward emails. We need to chat to our neighbours. We need to share the good news of how busy and active and vibrant our church lives are, so that we can allow others to see that busyness within us and see the joy it brings us. Is that enough? That's a huge challenge, isn't it? And I know sometimes I talk about things of the heart, and sometimes I talk about things that are really practical, and today feels like a practical one. If you think there's something we could be doing better with our communications, can you let me know? Because you can see by the way I've waved my hands around for the last 5 minutes, I really do want to get this right, and I've got the energy for it. We need to make sure we don't leave anybody behind in the good news story of what our churches are doing to build God's kingdom and to bring people closer to Him, where we know that we are fully loved and fully accepted as we are. Lots of good news to share there. I'm going to leave you to it, and I'm going to go back out and back on. I'm all geared up and raring to go. Can you tell? Too much caffeine probably. Hey, have a good day. Lots of love to you, and God bless. Bye bye.